Estamos terminando el evento 5G Latinoamérica que se está celebrando en Río, en Brasil. Nos visita Asaf de la empresa Cellmining y nos va a explicar qué es lo que ellos han estado presentando durante este congreso, estos 2 días que llevamos de congreso, para entender mejor sus soluciones y ver si los operadores que están viendo este vídeo les puede interesar. Vamos a cambiar al inglés, que es el idioma común que tenemos Asaf y yo. Asaf, welcome to Telesemana.com.
Thank you, Rafael. Good
It's a
to be here.
pleasure having you here.
Thanks.
Okay, so I was telling our audience that you would explain us briefly what your company does and the reason why you were here at this event.
Okay. So the company Cellmining is a provider of network analytics. Network analytics that is taking a different approach to the data sources, and it has a unique customer experience angle in it. And this is the main message that we bring to the conferences that deal with network. We show them a way to have customer experience management and network cooperate.
Okay, now what would you say are your main competitive advantages? Because we're seeing in the market a lot of companies offering analytics and ways to improve the customer engagement. So what would you say it's something that would distinguish your company from the rest of the competitors out there that are promising the operators similar things?
Of course, and it's quite right. The market is quite crowded, but we actually stand pretty much far from the rest of our competitors by the data that we start looking at. The data is the customer experience management data because it is CDR based. In the CDR, the call detail record, there's customer information. And this drives our analytics with the ability to correlate it back to the network, to the location, to the service, and even the handset that the subscriber was using. As a result, this correlation drives a unique approach with a cost-effective way of looking at all the insights of the customer experience in management.
Okay, sometimes when we talk about analytics, we see that many of the companies, including yours, you are able to correlate different data from different systems and so on. But then sometimes the operator gets this data and actually they don't know how to do any action that might improve the customer. So what would be your suggestion on how does your products or services allow the operator just to gather information, but actually to be able to create items, to create actions?
It's very good. It's a very good question, Rafael. So the first, I introduced ourselves as network analytics, but in fact this is the technology. We are introducing applications on top of this network analytics. The most simple one, it's actually quite complex, but the one that's already worked out and installed here in Brazil as well is a SON solution based on the analytics.
Okay.
It drives network optimization in an automated way based on the findings that we have, which are very much customer experience oriented. But there are other applications, so only if you take an applicative approach and you analyze the data but show actionable insights, this is a way for operators to go on and improve customer experience, network, reduce the churn. I can give a few examples of that.
Okay, just go ahead, feel free to give me.
I think the most prominent example is the ability of operators with our solution to correlate the survey results that they're asking their customers related to satisfaction of the services with the actual network experience that we at Cellmining analyze. There's a unique approach that we take there to correlate implicit experience of the customers with the explicit results that they gave in the surveys, and from that we have built a machine, a model that actually predicts who the next detractors of the operators will be. In other words, just based on CDR analytics, there is the unique ability to predict market-wide the next people that will leave the company, and that's worth a lot of money for operators, and it's actionable.
Okay, so once you have detected those users, how do you communicate with them, or what do you do to make sure they do not behave as they are expected to behave given the correlation that you've run?
So we present the lists, the actual suspects are presented to 2 teams. One is the natural owner of these customers, they are the marketing teams. We provide them a very narrowed down list of high accuracy predicted to be detractors, and they take the actions knowing the reasons, because we show them reasons that relate to the service, to the handsets, to the locations, all the commonalities around them, and marketing takes its own campaigns and retention actions. The network teams, on the other hand, get very similar results, but they get a different approach. We show them which cells and which network sites are dominant in the experience that these subscribers are having, and ways to improve it, either on a manual action, through manual actions, or through automation, and that goes back to the SON solution, self-organized network, that we also deliver to the carriers.
Okay, so you have a SON solution. Usually when we talk about SON, we talk about the centralized and distributed SON. Which one is yours?
Centralized. We have a centralized SON solution that manages multi-vendor, multi-technology, the macro network, and the small cell deployments as well.
Okay, going back to the user, are you able to provide, because sometimes some of the users that are going to churn, the operator might be happy with them churning because they have low ARPU and they are very expensive, or they are not bringing. Are you able also to locate those and say, you know what, with those, they are not happy, just let them go?
Perfect. We don't manage the ARPU, or we don't manage the actual lifetime value attributes of these customers, but we do in our system import them from the CRM systems. As long as they are imported and correlated with the experience key quality indicators that we find, that's the golden match. The marketing and the operator teams have their own ways to segment our findings further and deal with customers that are worth less or worth more. But as long as that can be correlated with a real experience, that makes the difference for operators.
Okay, how long does it take for an operator that hires you to be able to start running these correlations? How long does it take for you to install your system and make it run?
So the model for prediction needs to learn. It's a learning model, and it needs to learn about 3 weeks of data. The actual installation process is very simple.
It's pure software? Or?
It's pure software, and it's pure data sources that doesn't need integration. So the only piece of integration is very light, and that's a mapping exercise for the CDRs to be normalized into the system. So I would say that in a matter of a month and a half, which includes all the technical requirements and all the design,
learning as well,
and the learning, one can already see the improvement, and one can already see the lists of predicted detractors and can start working on them.
Okay.
So it's quite a unique approach.
What happens if the operator has already an analytics system in place? Perhaps it's not doing all the things that your system is doing, so they want to still use the one they have, but they want to use this kind of modules that can you be added to the match or to the mix?
And that's what we're actually expected to do. So we're not deluding ourselves to be the only owners of the customer data. In fact, we enrich the existing customer data systems, and in that respect, we have interfaces for delivering our KQIs to our unique and calculated KQIs into the operator's existing systems, existing data lakes. We enrich them.
So you create your own KPIs, because one of the reasons that we're seeing is that the KPIs need to be redefined at the operator. So.
And I would even insist on saying that we deliver KQIs. KPIs is what the network traditionally provides, the key quality indicators that we have relate to a subscriber, how much time he spent on 3G, whether he dropped to 4G, on which roads, and where that happens. So unique, real customer-oriented key quality indicators. This is what we provide.
Okay, so you are an international company, and you mentioned that you are here in Brazil working with an operator, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
Are you planning on expanding throughout Latin America, or do you have already clients outside Brazil in Latin America?
Very good question. We have our local Brazilian business partner here that delivers our solution, Asca Sistemas. They are delivering the system within Oi. This is a publicly announced customer of ours, and Asca is responsible for the implementation of the project, the SON project. We have other customers in Latin America. They relate to the bigger groups in the world that we have. They're across Latin America, and some of them are in the initial stages, some of them are already in more advanced stages of the project.
Okay, and for those, you are managing those directly?
We're managing with local partners. Our approach is simply to go with the local partner, which will be our men on the ground.
Excellent. Okay, Asaf, thank you so much for visiting us. I invite everybody to visit your webpage and see what you've got in store there.
Very good.
And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you, Rafael.
Thank you. Take care.